Got an interesting story for you. Last week, we had a dead man walking out here in the wood shop. And that dead man was me. Last week, when I put these columns down here on the bench, I had a hemoglobin level of 3.9. which the emergency room doctor said is a level too low to sustain life. It really is. At 3.9, you should be dead. Right now, my hemoglobin is at 9.2. That's after 5 pints of blood plus 2 pints of enriched blood. It's enriched with iron and other stuff. So basically a full change of blood to get up to this 9.2 level. A little over a year ago, it was up here, way up at the top. During the time I was working on this entire project, I was basically running out of steam. I was getting more and more tired every day. I normally walk on this road right here, which is about 1/3 of a mile, and I generally do it, well, in the summertime I do it 6 times a day, but I usually do it at least once a day. In the winter, I wasn't doing that at all. I would just come out here for about an hour or so until I got exhausted, and I would go in the house and rest and then come out and try to do some more. And then it finally got to be too much when I was working on these columns, and I went to the emergency room because I couldn't even walk across the room, and they found out that my hemoglobin was at 3.9. They still don't know what's causing it. I had one of those scopes down my throat. I had a scope up my butt. And then there's a missing area right here where they can't see with scopes. And for that, I go in next week to swallow one of these. That's going to be kind of crazy. So I'm on light duty work for a little bit. I'm going to get a lot of these parts blued and a little bit of paint on these. But if you were wondering why there was no videos on either of the channels for a little bit, that's what it was. I was in the hospital for 4 days, and that was kind of rough because they had to do all the scopes and stuff. I pretty much didn't eat or sleep the entire time I was there for more than an hour, hour and a half. And then I got home Sunday, midday Sunday, and was feeling a good deal better on Monday. And then I came down with the Norovirus. My daughter had it before I went to the hospital. So now I had the stomach flu, and basically all of the food and stuff that I ate to recuperate from my stay in the hospital, all of that stuff came right out and stayed out for the rest of the week. It's Saturday today. The Norovirus hit on pretty much Monday evening into Tuesday. So I had a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and a good amount on Friday. So it's been a heck of a week for me. I'm going to try to get a picture of that pill camera. Hopefully I can get one before I have to swallow it. You have to swallow the thing, and they record pretty much the part after the beginning of your large intestine. They can see that through the endoscope, which goes down your throat, and the colonoscopy can see through your large intestine, and everything else is invisible to scopes like that. They have to use a CAT scan or something like that. So it'll be interesting. They put all of the results of tests like that, the camera results and stuff, they put it online on my chart, so I'll have access to it. I don't know what it's going to look like, you know, small intestine, but I may put it online. This is a woodworking channel, but the wood shop is not open for business quite yet, so I don't know. Maybe I'll shove it on there just for the heck of it. It'll definitely be interesting. But that stuff is, 4 or 5 days away, and I have time to fill, and I'm actually feeling pretty good right now. But the hemoglobin level before you need an emergency transfusion is, 7, and I'm at 9. So I don't want to overdo it until it tests out like over 10. Once it's gone up a good deal, they still don't know what caused this. I did have an emergency appendectomy, whatever, you know what it is. I had my appendix out a 1.5 years ago, and this actually started, the exhaustion started in March of last year, and it just kind of was a really, really slow thing until it wasn't a slow thing, until it got to be as bad as it was. But I started feeling a burn in my legs when I was walking almost 1 year ago, and I shouldn't feel that because I walk so much. You know, it's not like I'm exerting myself. So that was the first sign. Be interesting to find out what the heck is causing this or caused this. I'm guessing whatever it is still there. That would suck if it was blood loss from the appendectomy, because they would have to do surgery, go back in, and seal that up. Before I forget, if you would please take the time to subscribe to the channel, it would help us out dramatically. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subs before summer and have that over with, and then I'll be starting a bunch of projects. I think I'll be doing 2 projects before summer, but it would be nice if I had 1,000 subs before then. So I'm really interested to hear from anybody out there who has had any problems like this before. Low hemoglobin is usually from bleeding, but there's a couple other things that can cause it as well, including a tick bite, but they're not focusing on that at all. They wrote it down on their chart. I came up with that. But if anybody out there has any ideas, I would love to hear them, because although I can keep going in and getting infusions of blood, I would rather not do that. Well, actually, since I left the hospital, my hemoglobin has risen from, what was it, like 7.4 to the 9.2 last time. So it is going up, but I would really, or I need to know what has made it go down to dramatically low levels. The doctor never seen it before. They were pretty impressed with it at the hospital. So I think that's going to wrap this up. Like I said, I don't want to overdo it. I just got over, well, I didn't quite get over this yet. I still got to get up. Where am I? This is where I am right here. I need to get all the way up to here until I get all my energy back. I'm still a little on the weak side, so, and then I had the Norovirus, which did not help at all. Next week, when I go to one of my doctor visits, I'm going to pick up some more paint. But until then, I'm going to work on little stuff, and I'll get a couple videos out. I believe one of the things I'm going to get done is get that base reassembled and get that out of the way. So, like I said earlier, make sure you subscribe, and if you know anything about why someone with no trace of bleeding at all has lost so much hemoglobin, put it down in the comments below. I'd like to hear what you got to say. And this is going to be interesting too. It's obviously not that big. It's probably the size of a horse pill, but it is pill-sized. It's not a big old camera like that, but nonetheless, it's going to be interesting swallowing that. And then I have to wear like a vest that takes all the recordings. So that day's going to be shot. And what do I have? I think I have 4 doctor visits next week. So I'm going to try to get a couple videos done this weekend. So that'll wrap up this update video. This kind of put a wrench in things, but I still should have this done at least by the end of the month, and then we'll get back going on covering the walls, and we'll get some projects done. Everything should be back to normal soon, so we'll see you in the next video.